In all seriousness. All right. Okay, here we go. We'll count down in 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Gamers Lounge podcast. My name is John Meadows. Matt, you can't do stuff like that while I'm entering.
He was putting his face on.
He really was. He was putting his face on, literally. Was
or maybe
putting
he
his
was
face
taking
on.
it off.
I don't know. It was one or the other, but it made me laugh. But yes, I'm John Meadows. With me, as always, is Eric Nathaniel, and Matt's with us this week because Robert has got some work to do. So, how you guys doing? Yeah.
Just us. Doing good.
Good. But, Robert's got some working late tonight, so working in the salt mines, as they say. So
It's gotta be a salty experience.
I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so thought we'd just start like we always do with what we've been playing, what we've been doing. It's not too much of a news heavy episode because there's not too much going on. So Matt, you haven't been here for a while. We'll let you go first. Yeah.
Well, just this list I almost assembled 5 seconds ago.
They don't know that.
Now they do. Thanks, Matt.
Darn.
Cat's out of the bag.
The rest of them did their homework. That's okay. Played some Overwatch.
Yeah.
Ham and the Hamster dropped recently.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that was pretty solid. He's like a weird in-between of two of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, he's not that powerful. Whereas the last hero they released literally changed the meta of the game, and it has never been the same since.
Oh, wow.
And completely changed everything. And this hero is like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
But the most notable thing out of Overwatch is that they're currently doing their Overwatch championship right now for the year, I believe.
Yeah.
And so it's Philadelphia Fusion versus New York Excelsior, I believe. It's best of 3 games, and New York won the game last night. I can't remember if they have one today and tomorrow, or if they played one today. I'm slightly out of the loop there because it's busy all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Overwatch fun. Go play.
Yeah.
Then I played Terraria some. That game got an update a while back, but really I'm getting into it with friends, so we have something to all play together and shoot 'em up, stuff like that.
Before.
Yeah, I actually had 100 hours on it pre this last update, and so it's like dust the cobwebs off and get back into it. But it's like if you look at Minecraft and you're like, I wish there was less building, more shooting.
Less building, more shooting.
Well, Terraria is more like a little bit of the Minecraft stuff in there, but it's more about dig a lot to find cool resources to then make cooler equipment or make a cool ray gun or all this. There's lots more goofy weapons you can get in there, and then you can summon bosses.
Yeah.
That are really freaking hard.
and really like oddly grotesque. There's not just like a except for like 1 or 2, but it's just a fun little game. And it's like connect through Steam there. It's great. Great way to play with your friends.
Way better now than when it was way long ago when you had to connect via IP address.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid you're on a router. Oh, I remember those days. Those are
Early access, and then it's just like, nope, that's a pain in the butt.
Man, I remember
Now it's really good.
Takes me back.
And then WoW. I've never been at level cap in WoW. I'm close.
Oh,
I'm
really?
at 106. I'm at 106, but I'm not quite there yet.
At one point, when we played WoW, we used to do the refer a friend. Me and Nikki would play together, and we'd do the refer a friend. So I would refer her one time, and then she would refer me, so we'd get a free character, we'd get the level boost and everything like that. At one point, on the server that we played on, I had every character slot full, and every character was at level cap.
That's nuts.
Well, that was what was cool, was because you got a refer a friend bonus, so we would play with each other until the bonus wore out, and then when the bonus wore out, then she would refer. What we do is you have to make another account, but then you can merge that account. So we were constantly merging accounts all the time. So
Something tells me that they probably caught on to that eventually.
No, they didn't. You could still do that. You can still do that.
Still stack it then?
Well, because because what you have to do, you still have to buy at least a vanilla copy of the game to do it. Or
you don't have to buy vanilla copies anymore.
Right.
You could just get a subscription for like a month or two.
Yeah.
And just get it all the way up to the latest expansion.
Yeah. So that's what we do all the time. We get all the refer a friend mounts and all that kind of stuff. We used to do. I mean, that's all we did in the summertime because she was off all summer. So it was
if you still had that, you could almost cash that out for silly amounts of money.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because
like
it's like
cash or
so you can go and sell things on the auction house,
Mm-hmm.
then turn around and sell the stuff on the auction house for WoW tokens, and WoW tokens have monetary value.
Mhm.
the
I don't know.
tokens.
I don't know if you can go from WoW token to dollars though.
You can pay for your
That's the thing.
subscription with the
You
WoW
can pay
tokens.
for your subscription,
Mhm.
so you can play for free. But I don't know if you can be like, actually get money out of it, because then it becomes like every single Russian bot ever is going to try to hack all the accounts, sell all your stuff, get all the WoW tokens, and make 5 cents.
Yeah.
Go.
We have thought she really wants to get back into playing it again if we had time. I don't want to because I played it so much, and then once I start playing it, I won't play anything else but that. Especially when
that's
we
my
play
problem,
together. So
And that's my problem too. And it's not like Destiny. It's because with WoW, I'm paying every month. I got a group of people I'm playing with. I want to play, and then the other game systems just sit. They already sit, but they sit longer.
right.
They don't get turned on.
I don't have to pay every month to play that, so I don't have to play it
Right,
now.
prioritize that way. But when you're actually spending money on it, it feels like, I need to play it so
that
much to get my
mentality,
$15 out of it.
I think part of it too was when I played. I liked playing, and I had a group of friends, but I changed jobs. So I couldn't play as much as they could, and I fell behind. And I just
it's like me and Nikki. We just played together.
yeah, that works.
I mean,
What was her preferred class? She looks like
She was a hunter. She liked to hunt.
I knew it.
Class. Yeah. So.
that fits.
Gotta get those pets.
Yeah. And we would do Horde, and one time we'd refer Horde, and then next time we'd refer Alliance and play that. So it was.
Well,
we had a
I
good
probably
mix.
had the most fun with a Warlock.
That was my main. My main was a Warlock.
A Druid. I played both of those, and I had a lot of fun with him. I also had like a Paladin, and I think I had a Hunter too. But the Hunter, I didn't get. Oh, I had a whatever you could do with the Blood Elf, whatever that was, the Death Knight.
Yeah, they had the Death Knight. I have one of everything.
The Paladin soured my experience with WoW.
You can see it. It's insane. I mean, I don't know if they've had. Hopefully, they would have to add more character slots because I don't think I could do any of the new one. I'd have to delete a character.
I think you have 8 or 10 now.
I think when I was playing, you had 10, and I think I have all 10 of them full.
Yeah, I don't think they ever went up.
I remember when that game first came out, and you could run it on a pretty crummy PC. You could run it on a P4.
I played it.
Around.
I played it beta, and then the main game, and then I got out of it by the time Burning Crusade came out, and then I got back into it when Lich King came out, and then I got out of it after Mist of Pandaria. So
Lich King was the last expansion that I played, and I was still playing on my crummy crummy laptop. And actually, the frame rate for Lich King, all that stuff, even in the heavy areas, was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Burning Crusade, the frame rate was terrible. I never understood why.
I don't know.
Well, it was a crappy laptop, so.
Yeah, they did a graphics update recently, or in the last
Cataclysm.
2 packs ago.
Yeah, Cataclysm.
Well, no, that was when they reworked all the zones so you could fly everywhere.
Right, but
There
they
was one
also.
after
I thought
that
that's
where
when they did the upgrades. I thought that's when they did the upgrade. Because we were still playing when they did it.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was. I don't remember.
At this point, they probably upgraded the graphics.
I'm sure they probably have done it at
Yeah.
least once or
Wow's
twice
been around
since
for a long
then. So
time.
it's like I don't know.
And then, but the one note I wanted to say about that is, so at the high levels of like 110, you would like hit somebody and you deal like 2,000 damage.
Yeah.
Psh, 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 psh. Well, they're like, these numbers are too big and silly. So they essentially like 10th all the numbers. So if you had 150,000 health, you now have 15,000 health. But everything has scaled across the board, so the numbers are much more muted and reasonable again, like they were back in vanilla, which may or may not be a sign for Classic. Well,
yeah, it's all a number thing. Is all.
I honestly would not be surprised if it wasn't something to do with them trying to come out with WoW Classic as well. And they're like, well, if we bring these numbers back down and we scale them, then it's easier for us to like balance between the two games or something. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. Since they are doing that, so I mean.
But apparently, when they did that, they forgot to do it with a lot of the smaller, weird, nuanced things. And so there was a little toy that some players apparently found out were like, like normally it was just a small pat on the back, and you're just like, boop, 1 damage. Well, now because like the way the damage scales at 110, they're running around like insta killing players with this little toy. They're just like, boom.
That's hilarious. Shoot, I love it when things like that happen.
Yeah, it's just like that's always why they release it like a month or two early, so they can be like, "Oh, we got to fix that." Ooh,
do it before the expansion hits and 5,000 million billion people come back and play again. Yeah, I get that. So.
Which I wouldn't be surprised if all their other games don't suffer slightly as far as reliability goes because of it.
Could be. Well, that was like we use Amazon Fire TV for everything. Prime Day, we couldn't even watch TV because Prime Day, where the website went down, everything went down. It broke the Fire TVs and everything. We couldn't do anything. It's like, why is that even connected to the website? It's like, but it all is. It's all connected.
Because it's a store at first that they then expanded.
Yeah.
So, like Prime is just accessing the same servers that you can get on Amazon.com.
Yeah, it's just so weird, But anyway, so are you going to get the expansion for WoW?
Yeah, I believe so. It'll be fun. Battle for Azeroth is supposed to like bring it back to its roots, but they're also trying to do WoW Classic, so they're trying to bring the game back to its roots while also releasing the roots.
Right.
It sounds like they're competing with itself. They could have just like made a UI change. And like intermediate mode, beginner mode, advanced mode. Done. Now you don't have like two separate games fighting each other. Maybe that's just me. They're much smarter than I. They're the ones making millions upon millions of dollars a month.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah,
I guess they know what they're doing. I don't know.
Yeah. And then, like, the only other things is mostly I got a Steam Link set up recently, so I've been playing a little bit of Darkest Dungeon on that.
Nice. That was on sale for PlayStation or for PSN the other day for like $9 or something like that.
I would totally pick it up. I would totally would have picked it up for $9. But like,
it's great, but it will make you angry.
Absolutely. The voice acting for it's top notch. Some of the best like small studio voice acting I've heard in a while.
Cool.
Because it's not a wide range. It's just very thematic, and it's very good at adding to the theme of the game.
Yeah.
It's just like, it just feels like I'm in some sort of nightmare. It's great. And then
I don't know. That doesn't sell me now. Now you.
It's a dungeon crawler.
Yeah, it came out on.
And all of your people will have some sort of malady, mental problems, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
The only people that come to help you are already broken individuals, and they're like, "Well, if I can do this, I can get rich," and that's it.
And they get worse.
And then they get worse.
Dungeons, and then I'm like, I've got claustrophobia now, or whatever.
Here's a rogue. Whoops! I accidentally introduced you to zombies, which don't exist. Like, I'm pretty sure the story of the game is this is the only place in the world with this font of evil. And so, like, people come to this, like, we'll help rebuild the mansion and clear out some thugs or whatever. And it's like, no, there's zombies in the basement. And so all these people just, like, lose their minds. And so you have to balance that. It's just a huge mess.
It's on my want list for the Switch. It looked like it would be a fun game to play on the Switch.
It would be. It's turn-based, and so there's no, like, timing of stuff. I would say it's a very good fit for the Switch.
Yeah.
It's not super graphics intensive. having
It's
a
got
little
very
bit
pretty
extra.
sprites too,
Yeah.
so it'll look good
Yes.
on that screen.
It's
Yes,
$30
definitely.
physical on the Switch. When I added it to my Amazon wish list, it was $39, so it's already dropped $10. So wait, and it may drop
No,
again.
just
Maybe
keep-
if I wait.
I'm sure it'll slide down more.
I
Just keep-
would,
I've got so many
I
Switch
would-
games as it is.
if it goes on sale for under 15, I'd snatch it up at this point.
I think it is on the. I think it's way cheaper digitally. I think, but
Well, yeah, the Switch
I mean-
physical release is probably the only physical release of that game.
maybe. I think somebody.
It started digitally on Steam and then went elsewhere.
I think. I don't know. It seemed like somebody was doing a physical release of it on other systems, but I don't know.
Are you sure it's a physical release and not a case release?
No,
Because
they-
apparently one of the Mega Man games recently released a it was 2 games in the same box, but one was the cart,
Right.
and then they had a code to redeem the other
right.
game.
No,
People were
that's
I mean, that's just like Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta 2 was like that.
Bayonetta
Mega Man was like that. Yeah, though this is just the game. It's not. You're not buying
Okay.
a download code. They don't usually sell them in the box. It's like I wanted Banner Saga Trilogy is coming to physically on the Switch, and I was like, man, I'll get that. But one of those games is a download, so you might get 1 and 2 on a cart, but the third one's a download or something like that. And I'm like, no, I don't want it then. I want them all on the cart, or I'll just buy them all download. That defeats the purpose of buying it on a cart for me.
Unless
if I
you
have to
only want the
download it.
case, but like even then, don't charge me full case. Like
Yeah, don't charge me $50.
Right, for
I
just a
mean,
piece of plastic.
No, And literally, they could spend. It's only 13 gigs for the entire series. It's like literally they could spend just a little more money and get a bigger cartridge that they'll all fit on, but they don't want to. They want to get the smaller cartridge so they make more money. So I've just kind of got to the point where I'm like with the Switch stuff. I'm like, nope, then I'm not buying it. I'm not going to do it. It defeats the purpose of buying it physical. If I've got to download a game or two.
I'm sure that for the Banner Saga's point of view, that it was not worth doing the bigger cartridge because they wouldn't make enough money because not that many people are going to be buying that one
I
physical,
guess.
essentially,
I don't know.
to make it worth it.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, they're still
There's
charging
someone
$50.
doing all the math.
I
If
guess.
it made sense, they would have done it.
I think the Switch shine is starting to wear off, where people are like, it's not as like, wow, I could put all the indie games ever.
Yeah.
Like the battle royale craze, where it's like some people did it, and all of a sudden they just make money hand over fist. Well, now everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
There's
I
only
don't
so
know.
much money to spend.
I
I don't think the shine is wearing off of the Switch. I just think that there's a whole lot of indie games on there at this point that you've got plenty of choices.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are kind of tired. They're calling it the Switch tax, which means you have to pay a little bit more for a physical game, which I don't mind. I don't mind so much, but I just
especially if it's an indie game that never was going to have
Yeah.
that and just a digital thing anyway, and they're not set up for that. I mean, sure, it's going to cost a little bit more if you want a physical copy of it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
but yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, that game has looked interesting to me since day one. It's just I've kind of put it in the back of my want list. Going, I'm going to get that one of these days. And since I'm running out of room on my card, it's like well, I'm going to have to get a bigger card, or I'm going to have to start deleting some things. And
What do
One
you got the
thing-
200. You got the 200 gigabyte, right?
128. I've only got 20 gigs left on it. I think maybe 15.
I
But
think the 200.
well, what
Maybe we'll see
aggravates me,
prices come down again.
I hope as soon as it does, I'm getting a 200. The thing that aggravates me the most is there's no good way. I had 25 gigs on the Switch, but there's no way to move something from the cart to the Switch. What you have to do or from the memory card to the Switch. So what you have to do is you have to delete it off the memory card, turn the system off, take the memory card out, turn the system back on, go to the store, then download it, then turn it back off, and then
I
it's
wonder if when the online thing comes, if that will also include other updates to the
I
system.
hope so.
If they'll just time it.
because my thing is
Do we know if the cloud stuff is just for saves?
that's what they said. That's all I've heard is saves. I haven't heard anything else. Now that could change, or maybe they just haven't said. But the last I heard, it was saves only.
Yeah.
But it was like the other night.
I mean,
It's
that
like
makes sense.
yeah.
but I was just
Yeah, well, it's like the other night I wanted to move Ease, which was 14 gigs. I wanted to move it onto the system because it's like I've got 25 gigs on the system just floating here that never gets used because it's either all system, all on the memory card. So I turn off the system, take the memory card out, put the game on download, 14 gigs again, leave it overnight, come in the next morning, okay, it's downloaded, turn the system off, put my memory card back in, turn it back on. It's like, what a pain. Just let me go copy from point A to point B and be done with it. Or when I download it, let me choose where I want to download it then. I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, the Switch is probably still the best at that Nintendo's ever been.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hands down it is. No, and they're not quite there yet, but it's just little things that are so simple like that. I'm like, oh, come on, guys. You could do this.
I think it's a weird balance between their still think of their consoles as for kids.
Mm-hmm. I think so,
so
too.
They don't want to make it too complicated for the kids. And
Yeah.
It's good
put
way to look
some
at things.
features in there, but who knows?
I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
a little quality
Switch
of
is
life.
still awesome. It just
But-
has little weird quirks.
Yeah, it does.
It's one of those things where I would agree that like their design choices were for that, but today that only holds so much water. Like there are kids that are better at computers than half
absolutely.
of the people
for
I
sure.
know, and so it's like I feel like either you're almost willfully ignorant of what kids are actually capable of, or you're just admitting that like, look, we didn't want to have to program like reallocation of memory, moving all that stuff over, verifying all the stuff is actually like moved over again, all that stuff, and that's fine. Just be like, hey, we didn't feel like programming it because that's effort. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, it could even just be something they didn't even think about.
It could be,
Could be too.
and they just wanted to get out the system as quick as they could. So there's just things that they give you the base stuff, and then like we'll update it as we go along.
Well, I mean, just think back on some of the other consoles, like
Mm-hmm.
the difference of the 360 at launch versus when it ended, the PS3 at launch versus when it ended, all the system updates that add all these quality of life things over time.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Probably
look-
some of that.
look how long
See.
it took Xbox 360 to have external hard drive use. They had to get it on the Xbox One first, and it had been 2 years into the Xbox One before, and then they were like, "Oh, we could do this on the 360," and it was like,
So yeah.
"Why couldn't you have
It's
done
not
that a
just
long time
Nintendo
ago?"
that has weird hang-ups and things. Like each company has some weird
Yeah.
thing that people want to be able to do that they just drag their feet on, or just like, oh, we don't know how to do it, guys, or whatever. We don't care.
Yeah.
Any number of reactions to different
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, which that's fine. That's why we have system updates. Thank God. I mean, because
Yeah.
if we didn't,
And the thing is, once you establish that you can do that, though, you're never now allowed to not do it. So,
Yeah.
like, Xbox can never not have cross-platform multiplayer. I think we talked about this some other time.
yeah.
Like, once you cross a threshold, if you ever backtrack on that threshold, people are going to be like,
Well,
I'm good. I'll pass on that
it's
console."
it's like
Yeah, but it's
EA's.
so whatever. That's not even a thing because
Well,
that one's a few
it's-
things that it works with. That they'll never get rid of it, but there's only going to be certain things that will be compatible.
Right. Well, I look at it like I call it the Madden football effect. You get to the end of life on a console like 360, and Madden football has everything. It has franchise mode. It has creative player. It has this. You can get a kid and go all the way and play to the Hall of Fame and all this and that. And then when the next generation comes out, it doesn't have franchise. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have that. And it's like they start completely over again. Then next year, oh look, we've added franchise mode. It's like no, you had that in the other one. When the new one comes out, you need to have everything that was in that new one, in that old one, to carry over to
Yeah,
the new
but
one. That's the theory.
That's
That's
that's the price of trying to code on a new console that you only have so much time when you're putting a game out
Exactly.
every year. to
well,
put
and
it in.
that's the thing with the new console too.
Yeah.
It'll come out. It may not have all the features that the old console had. It may eventually have all the features that the old console had, but it never has it day one. I mean, maybe someday we'll get
Which,
to
I
that
mean, works
point.
for them
but-
because then they can be like, "We're bringing back this."
Yeah,
that you liked
exactly.
from before."
And everybody's like, "Ooh, it's so new now." Oh no, we kind of had it before. They just took it away, and everybody forgot. So
Well, that's because people, unless you're real hardcore into it, only play like every third or fourth Madden game or something.
right. So, Matt, anything else? Have you played anything else before
Uh,
we move on to somebody else?
I mean, D&D like normal. Our D&D DM
Yeah.
dropped this like weird quest hook thing on us, and basically there was a force field, and it was tied to this orb, and we're like, okay, so the force field is active. We'll just move the orb around, and like it's inside the thing. Well, as we moved it around, we didn't know the force field was moving, and we accidentally used it to like start killing people in a town. And so we like start walking into the town, and the force field just kind of like, and we're like, whoops. And then it's like, yeah, okay.
All right.
What is this mysterious
So-
force killing people? Oh.
Yeah, and then we're like, oh.
Did I do that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then Jackbox Party Pack, aka find out how dirty your friends are.
Oh Lord, yeah, I can see
And
that.
the answer is always slightly dirtier, at least than what you think, especially when alcohol is involved.
Yeah,
I was to see if it would be fun to play Cards Against Humanity with them.
Oh yeah, no.
Started to say, okay, they're good for this game or not.
I actually like this more than Cards Against Humanity because well, Cards Against Humanity has better setup for jokes just because it's like it does all the dirty thinking for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the variety of like
True.
like being able to chain jokes together and like referencing jokes from like 3 games ago, crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also, you can buy T-shirts. But yeah, no, that was all I played. So I'll stop taking up the time. It's been 30 minutes. So
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're absolutely fine. Eric, what have you been playing? Anything new and exciting?
Nothing.
Or?
Video games are bad. No, I'm just kidding. I've been playing a few things. I played some more of Kirby for the Switch. Still good. I can
I like
definitely
Kirby.
see where what the reviewers don't like about it, though. I think maybe they were thinking that they could use a little more oomph, a little more content to the game. I think that's it's fun. It's great to play through, but while I'm playing, I'm kind of like, huh, but it's the same formula. You
Well,
eat things, you
yeah.
make friends.
All right, and it's
a Kirby game.
yeah, it's a
Oh,
Kirby
that's right.
game.
It's like a giant vacuum cleaner and every time I see him, I think about. So if he takes off his shoes, does he have human feet? That meme that's floating around for a while.
Yeah, I remember that.
Visibly disturbed after looking at it. I was like, yeah, I'm never thinking about that again.
Yeah, it was very disturbing.
We played GTA Online, kind of getting back into that with some of my friends. Had a new release that has a club buying feature. It's one of the only places that makes like passive income. So you buy it on all these missions, boost it all up. Doesn't cost very much money, and then it passively makes you income. Most of the other things you own in the game don't make money passively. You have to keep doing stuff.
Right.
So this is kind of cool, and you can like link it to your other properties, like if you have a hangar or you have the drug dealer business and stuff like that. It's interesting. I just can't. That game is just gonna keep. I don't know how people succeed. So like build up their empires. They must play it all the time, or they must just glitch endlessly.
They probably
So-
just.
Both things are probably true.
And I think about how I'm never going to be able to get that far because I don't want to dedicate the time because I have dozens of other games I'd rather play.
you can also just pay money.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you could, and maybe that's
I
what a lot
did-
of people do. Is,
What happened with speaking of money is I think there's a guy on Cheap Ass Gamer. He had bought a couple copies when they were cheap to resell, and he had the shark card codes came with it, and those are normally 25, and he gave me 2 for 20. I was like, all right. So I paid money to put money in the game, but I didn't. Yeah. Other than that, though, I just yeah, it's fun to play with your friends, but it doesn't seem to hold me as much as it used to.
yeah.
But I have been playing more Prey. I think I'm like 2/3 of the way done. I won't spoil it too much because I only know one of us has played it. One of us besides me. That guy in the corner at the top.
That's okay.
Did you get the secret ending? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I don't know.
It's like a third of the game in. You can just
Oh
end it all.
yeah. There's a thing that you can go climb your way up to, hit
So
a button, and then
dumb.
hey, surprise! And
Bye.
never mind. Go back and load your save.
Yeah.
We're just kidding.
I've been having some fun.
It
I
was a
mean,
joke ending.
yeah, it's good. The fights are getting a little bit easier now that you've unlocked more powers. Some of the powers are kind of useless. Like, I like the morph ability, which changes you into objects, but I only ever use it sparingly.
I did a powerless run through, so I'm betting that my gameplay was a whole lot different than doing it with
So
the powers.
you focused on
Ends
like
up-
security upgrading your guns and stuff.
A little bit, yeah. Just a lot of the other type
It
of
does
things.
kind of
upgrade how
it
much
does kind of
damage you
suck.
do.
The more powers you do, the more the station turns against you without spoiling things. So things that would have helped you in the past now kind of suck. You can still work it to your advantage, but you just got to think a little bit more. But probably my favorite power so far, I just got this last night, is the one which it summons the phantoms, those are the monsters. It summons them from dead corpses. So find a dead crewmate, boom, instant ally. Very handy. In fact, I threw 4 of them at the Nightmare last night. The Nightmare is the big creature that chases you, kind of like Nemesis or Resident Evil 3. It's kind of a pain to kill in the beginning. Pretty nasty, does a lot of damage. But if you throw things at it or got turrets working for you, yeah, who knows? It's still fun. I don't like it as much like Deus Ex or Dishonored or System Shock 2. But it's still a good game, and I will definitely finish it. I don't know if I'm going to get the DLC, but we'll see.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And that's it. I haven't been playing as much.
Yeah, I haven't.
Probably more new stuff next week. I'll have a little bit more time.
Yeah. I haven't played a ton. I had some free time this week, so I played Cosmic Star Heroine again. I started over, did a second save, and started a stream. And I think I streamed for about 2.5 hours this week. And of course, it was I got pretty quick in it because I'd already played through that part of the content once before. So it was like, I'll just do it again, and did it over the stream. And then I got a review code for Titan Quest on the Switch the other day, and there was no embargo on it, so I did a stream on it on Monday. That game is pretty cool on the Switch. I like it because, it's that Diablo style game, so it's pretty fun to play, in handheld mode. It runs really well in handheld mode. It looks really good in handheld mode. What I found funny was when I came downstairs to stream it, I did it in docked mode, of course, and used the Pro Controller. The only issues I had in handheld mode that I also had in docked mode was there's a lot of pop-up in the game. So, like, you'll walk into an area that may be heavily populated, and, like, there won't be any people around. There'll be buildings and everything like that, and then all of a sudden it's like a wash goes over the screen, and all the textures pop up and the people pop up, and it's like it's just a weird loading thing, I guess, is what it is. But that's
I'm sure that's something where the game engine and the game wasn't designed for Switch to start with, so trying to get it to work means that's kind of what they had to do to kind of jerry-rig it a little bit.
Yeah, it was just really weird because, like, you'd walk into an area and if you walk through too fast and it didn't load, you might miss quest givers because they would just kind of go then and pop up. So that's something they could probably patch out. The one thing that I found with in docked mode is sometimes my Pro Controller would not work correctly with it. I'd be like trying to I'd open up a chest, try to pick up all of the loot, and there'd be one piece that I couldn't pick up, and it would be like the game would freeze, or it'd be more like my controller disconnected for a minute. I'd hit buttons and I wouldn't do anything, and then all of a sudden it would go whoop, and I'd work again. I never had that in handheld mode at all. Or there'd be times where I'd be running at an enemy, start attacking, and I would just keep running right by the enemy. And I would not even move my joystick. But it would never do that in handheld mode. So it was really weird. It's like, why would I do it in handheld?
The game engine itself is freezing up, so you can't do any new inputs, and if there happens to be an old input, it keeps doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it would be doing that, but that sucks.
Yeah, and it's just, and it didn't happen all the time. It just happened every once in a while. And you'd see me on the stream, I'd be like, oh, here it goes. It's doing it. It's not stopping. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, I'm all right now. It's like, and I don't know why it would do that. It was just, why it never did it in handheld mode. And I got farther in handheld mode than I got in docked mode on the stream. It was like, why does it work fine? Usually it's the other way around. Handheld mode, it doesn't work real well. Docked, it has issues. Or, it has issues in handheld, and docked is fine. I don't know. It's just
whatever
weird.
is, quote, better in docked mode is not being handled quite as well.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to upgrade resolution or whatever, and then it's just not running as well, whereas handheld, they made it where it worked pretty good there.
I'm sure there'll be a day one patch come out, and all of a sudden it'll just be fine. Yeah, but I mean, other than that, it's a good
so.
game. I think it's only like $30. It's not real expensive, because it's an older game. So, but I mean, it runs real well. It looks really cool. You can play split screen multiplayer. You can play online multiplayer, co-op. All that stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot of options, and those kind of games are fun to play with people. So, being able to play them online and handheld or dock mode is kind of cool. And the only other thing that I played this week is I did boot up No Man's Sky for about an hour and a half the other night. And I know Nathaniel, you've played a little bit of it too. Me and Nathaniel talked about it before everybody else got here. I kind of made the mistake of not starting over again or doing a new save. I just hopped right into my old save, which I was right where I was at before, but it was like I didn't have any fuel and I'd run out of
like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
how to play this game.
And then everything pops up and goes, you can buy a frigate now. You can build a base. And I'm going, but how do I do any of that? I have no idea. It wasn't giving me the options of actually
you really need
starting
to start a new game. Just stop with whatever that one and start a new game, because that's what I did. And I'm still not out of the quote tutorial part. I'm still kind of like early missions.
Yeah.
Teaching me new things.
Yeah. My friends want me to
Some
get
of
it.
it's
Like,
changed
the
from how it
multiplayer
launched.
is good. You should get it.
I tell you what, though, the graphics the graphics upgrade is very good on it. I would really like to see it on a PlayStation 4 Pro or an Xbox One X. I bet it looks even better.
Yeah, PC version looks great. It looked pretty good at launch, but they definitely upgraded the engine. So now, if you haven't played it since launch, it's going to look a whole lot different, a whole lot better.
Yeah, it does. And it's
for terrain mostly. Some of the stuff like ships and things, it still looks.
Yeah, it didn't look.
You'd remember.
Yeah, terrain though has gotten a whole lot better, and animals and beasts and things. Field of view is a whole lot better and stuff. But yeah, none of my buddies were on, so I couldn't get with them to play. Is it just 2-player, or is it? Can you have?
You can play more than that.
Okay.
I've seen videos with up to 4.
Are you guys just like exploring space is multiplayer, doing stuff?
I guess you do whatever you do in the game.
But co-op, you can find. You'll see. So like you have icons in there for all your different stuff. So if you're flying around in space, you see an icon for this planet, an icon for like a space station, all of that. So with co-op, you just see icons for players as well if you're in the same kind of vicinity.
And it was like, I need to start it over again just to go through the tutorials and
You do have like a log in the pause menu that tells some of that stuff, but it's a lot easier to learn it by going through sort of the early quests.
Yeah, and that's what I need to do, because it was just it plopped me right where I was still at, and it was like I'm flying around, I'm doing this and that, and I'm like, oh gosh, I forgot I need fuel for boost, and I just ran out of fuel for that because I boosted and landed, boosted and landed, boosted and landed. Oh crap, I don't have any fuel for hyperdrive, so now I'm stuck in this sector until I find enough. It's like, I screwed it up.
So
screw it. Next game.
I played 3 to 4 hours ish, if that, and I'm still early days with this stuff since I started from scratch, so I haven't even gotten hyperdrive or anything like that just yet, which does take a while, even in their original game. Since I haven't played since launch, like everything that they've added since then is completely brand new to me. So you've got all like the base building stuff, and all you can buy like different spaceships. You can get stuff from on space stations, like quests from some of the aliens there to go do things and come back and gain reputation with factions. All this stuff that was not there at launch.
Yeah.
So it seems like it might not be exactly what they were hyping up beforehand, but it's way closer now than it ever has been. If they keep working on it, I mean, this game. To me, it seems like this game really should have been called Early Access, and this would be the full release.
Yeah,
That's what
I
it feels
agree.
like. And just because it was something that they partnered with Sony and put like all this stuff out beforehand, and everything got super hyped up, and that's why everybody felt burned on it. But there's so many other games that just go the early access route that come out in a state similar to what No Man's Sky did to start with. Then they add all those features over 1 or 2 years, and then come out with a full release, and then more people will buy it then. And it's pretty much how this game went. It's just that the outside stuff is different. They didn't call it early access, so everyone got angry.
Yeah, they really should have. They should have had a program like Xbox does with their whatever
Yeah,
they
it was
call
like
it.
yeah,
Their early access or whatever they call it.
I mean,
you know.
early access existed at the time. They just didn't go that
Yeah, they didn't go that
route.
route. That's what I'm saying. They really
It's just
should
sort of
have.
ended up kind of feeling that way, just the way that the game has developed over time.
I think it really lent itself to the hype train, and Sony just kind of went, well, we need to cash in on this hype train. What is this, and
I mean, it's still, there's nothing else that looks like it for sure. There's other games that have some similar mechanics with like the survival type stuff.
Yeah.
Just in different ways, but yeah, there's nothing that looks like No Man's Sky out there, so that's kind of part of why it got such a hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people seem to like it, so that's good. I mean, they like it or they don't like it, but everybody wants to play it. So
I liked it
definitely getting
before,
a lot
but
of buzz again because it's coming out on Xbox and we've got this little update that everyone else gets for free.
yeah, I liked it before, but it wasn't.
Back on the upswing.
I played it for like 10 hours before, and that was about all I needed to play of it. It was kind of like,
I think I played about 30 hours at launch, so I played quite a bit of it to start with, and then I just put it down.
Yeah, and that's what I did.
Like, hey, sure, I'll try it out again. I just, because everyone was talking about it, I was like, I can just reinstall it. That's all I need to do. I don't have to buy it again.
I don't even think I had uninstalled it from the PS4. I don't know. Where I got an external drive, everything just stays on there. I don't usually
I got it
erase
on my
anything.
PC, so I didn't have it. I didn't have this PC when I had the game.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So I have to install any game on here if I want to play it.
Yeah, but so what else have you been playing besides No Man's Sky? That's all I've been.
I played a little bit more Final Fantasy 15 since last time and stopped playing it because I was starting to get a little bit bored.
Yeah, I did
Just
the
like,
same thing.
Look, here's all this crap to go get and do. All right, awesome. I'll go kill this creature or go do this thing. It's just the same old.
Yep.
The side quests are not fun side quests, or at least the ones I've done. They just seem a lot of fetch type things. Mm-hmm. It's like, go get this thing, go get that thing. And I think all I probably need to do is just go back in there and start doing more storyline quests rather than spacing it out a lot, and then I'll probably have a better time with it. But
I kind of got
bored. I might
bored.
get back to it eventually, but it was like coming off of some other games. I don't know, it wasn't grabbing me completely in there.
Yeah.
To where I just had to play it. It was kind of like, oh, this is kind of fun. I like doing this or that. But then I got distracted by other things like Minecraft again.
Yeah, I saw you said something about the update on Twitter or so.
They put out the update aquatic is what they're calling it. It's the aquatic update, probably is how I've been referring to it, but that's what they call it in the other order on their website and stuff. It is one of the bigger updates they've done in a while, and it is one of the best updates that they have done in a long time. And most of the stuff, not all of it, but most of the stuff revolves around water and things in the water or things you could do with things you find in the water. So water physics in the game has changed.
Yeah.
Your breathing underwater, like stuff, you run out of breath if you pop up, then it no longer instantly fills back. It takes time to fill your breath back up. Then just some of the way, like some of the things you have, kelp and seagrass that grows on rivers and oceans and stuff now, so it doesn't look as just big empty anymore. There are shipwrecks that you can find. There's buried treasure that you can get maps to go find.
Oh, that's
There's
cool.
Dolphins that they've added. What's some more water things that they've added? There's like a new thing you can craft. There's turtles now. There's something you can craft underwater that will let you like see and breathe and do get some positive effects if you build it near like your base or something. One of the cool things I like is they still have like the underwater temples that they've had for a long while now. They like grass and seaweed all over it, so they just look more creepy and menacing now. It's like, yeah, those places are dangerous if you just wander into it, and they're super easy if you go in with invisibility and water breathing potions. So it's not an early game thing, but go in later and you can just like tear through them easily. What else did they add? They added this new mob called the Phantom, which was voted on by people at Minecon a couple of years ago. There were like a few different couple mobs, like what should we add to the game next? And that was the one people voted on. Didn't have a name at the time, but it's one that if you don't sleep for like I think 3 nights straight, and you're outside, they just come in and they're kind of like a manta ray looking bat thing that flies in the air, and they like scream and dive bomb you, and they usually spawn in a group of 2 or 3 at least.
That sounds
until you
horrifying.
sleep, they keep coming back. Yeah, early game they're bad. If you're not paying attention, they catch you out of the open, you're just dead because they cause quite a bit of damage. Once you gear up a bit, they're not so
Yeah.
But stuff more exciting for me is like a lot of the new blocks that they've added in with this update. So now with logs from trees, if you right click with your axe on it, you peel the bark off. So you have kind of like a barkless log blocks for all the tree varieties. You have all the buttons and pressure plates and trapdoors now have ones for each wood variety instead of just like one for oak they used to have. You can, there's a few other things you can get the kelp and dry it out and craft a block from that. So I've just been playing with a couple of friends on like a server that one of my buddies rented. Been trying out new stuff. Just hey, let's play Minecraft basically.
Cool.
And it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounded like I was seeing some of the things pop up on Twitter about the new stuff, and it sounded really cool. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty huge update, and then I usually keep track of all the stuff. Even if I'm not playing, I watch all the like videos that come out about like the snapshot versions, and the preview versions of it, so I know what's coming.
Now, is that on all the? Is that on all platforms, or is that just on PC right now?
Snapshot's just Java version, so any of the Bedrock versions, Windows 10 or consoles, etc., do not get those.
Yeah.
It's just the Java version that has the like preview snapshots.
Yeah. What about the Aqua or the aquatic upgrade? Is that on everything yet, or is that just on PC as well?
I think some of the Bedrock versions have it. I don't know if all of them have it, and it's not exactly the same, so not all the features are the same between
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense.
But as they've been doing it, I think they've updated it once or twice on those other versions to add some of the stuff in there.
Yeah.
I don't remember what exactly all it is, but I think some of it's there, like dolphins and treasures. I don't know. I'd have to look into it because I haven't really paid attention to that side of it. Because Java Minecraft's really the one that I play the most of.
Yeah, cool.
When I'm playing Minecraft, that's the one I want to be playing.
Yeah, well, that's, sounds like Microsoft hadn't screwed anything up yet, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, the Bedrock version that they have, like, which is Windows 10, they've added the marketplace to it, where you can buy skins and texture packs and all this stuff that I'm just like, I'll just keep playing Java Edition and get those for free.
Yeah, really. Absolutely.
But, I mean, those things are cool to have on console because you wouldn't have it otherwise.
Yeah.
So.
Well, cool.
And then those are things like even community people, like you can submit a thing to go onto that marketplace.
Yeah.
And then make some money from it, I think. I don't remember for sure if that's exactly how it works, but I know there are community built packs and stuff on there.
Well, that's cool. Sweet.
Yeah, Minecraft is still a super awesome game. It's a lot of fun. It's like, hey, I just need to chill. I'll just go dig a tunnel and search for diamonds.
There you go.
Ticking along.
Yep.
Put some music on and dig a hole. That's how you do it.
See, that used to be that used to be me with WoW. Is like, oh well, I need to go do some quests in the evening. Turn on a podcast or something and sit and do quests and listen to podcasts and just kind of chill out. And then Stardew Valley kind of did that to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another game that you can just kind of get into the zone while you're doing it. You don't have to think too hard about what you're doing. You just kind of go through your routine of like, what are the crops? Go do this. Let's go do mining or whatever.
Yeah, Let's
go talk to the townspeople.
I'm just waiting for that multiplayer update to come out on everything. I know the beta is on the PC version right now. I think I read that somewhere. So
yeah, I don't know. Multiplayer in that game.
Yeah, be cool. Me and the wife play. So there you go. Well, she can harvest all the crops and I'll grow.
Maybe it's big enough eventually if people kept playing it they could do servers, which I would find better, but it works where like, hey, you're loading into your friend's game, so if they're not online you can't play it. Yeah. Because you're kind of a guest there.
Yeah.
Versus where it'd be cool if they had an actual server where it's like anyone can connect at any time.
Yeah, that would be really cool, and then so and so can come on while so and so's doing working or something.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a difficult thing to, one, justify, and two, work on when you're just one guy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It'd probably, maybe if somebody would buy it, Microsoft or Nintendo or even a small development company would buy it, it might change.
Even then, I don't think that it's a big enough draw that they would do that.
Maybe, yeah, that's true too.
I think having it where you can connect to your friend's world and play is probably the right call for that game.
Yeah.
Because it's not quite, it's not like Minecraft or some of those other games that's freeform sandbox.
Right.
It's still got its own structures to it where you have plenty to do, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like, hey, having a big server where you could have a bunch of people on it and build a giant farm would really work for that game unless they just expanded it a lot.
Yeah. Maybe Stardew Valley 2. Maybe I'll have that.
Stardew Valley 2. It's all fishing with your friends.
Yeah, there you go. Well, let's get into the news real quick. Like I said at the top of the show, there's really not a whole lot of news. Nintendo Online pre-orders are up on Amazon. If you want to go ahead and pre-buy a code or for $20, I mean, that's something. I don't know why there's pre-orders on this. It's kind of weird. I don't know if they're trying to judge
If it was
demand.
cheaper, maybe, but no.
Yeah. It's so weird. It's like,
I'll just get it when it comes out.
well, yeah, I'll just connect on the store and go, oh yeah, here, charge my credit card $20. Why do I want to pre-order a download code from Amazon to have it delivered to me at X amount? You know, it doesn't. It's. I just thought that was so weird
Convenience?
it's no more convenient
It's
than
because
charging my credit
Amazon
card. I mean,
wants to sell things.
I guess.
Stop them from doing what they like to do, man.
You know,
They just want to sell it, even if it doesn't make sense.
And that's why I wonder, I think GameStop's doing it too, and that's why I wonder if maybe Nintendo is just trying to gauge interest that way. I don't know. It seems like a weird way to gain interest. Why don't you do pre-order? If Nintendo was doing it, they would do pre-orders on the eShop for it.
Yeah, I don't think this has anything to do with Nintendo at all.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't think so either. So
Maybe this is them trying to, because if it's, you can buy through the eShop, or you can buy through Nintendo, or you can buy through Amazon. Then that tells me that there's multiple different places you can get this online from. By offering these pre-orders, they're trying to get those online people to buy through them first. Because you're probably not going to switch once you get into the service. It's like whoever you start with, that's who you're going to have. So by them jumping the gun, you'll buy it through Amazon, and then you'll just never think about it again.
no,
If that's even a thing you can do.
I don't even think that's a thing you can do because it's actually
like buying a code. Or
yeah, you're
something.
just buying a prepaid code for a year is all you're doing.
So it's not even like
No,
recurring
no,
subscription.
no.
No, it's like
you're
it's
literally-
like you bought an Xbox Live card,
Right.
Or a PS Plus card from them. It's about the same thing.
Yeah, it's totally. It's not. It's just all you're doing is pre-buying a code that they will send you when the system launches.
So they're selling a code to a thing that has already been pushed back several times, and what little they did have was already of poor quality.
Yeah. That's it.
Right? Okay.
I don't know if it's poor quality. I mean, I haven't had any issues with it, but
Well, I've heard like Splatoon has had very interesting issues with their online play. Like,
but that has nothing to do with the network. That's just people hacking things. Is what that is.
Absolutely. But like, from a user perspective, I don't know if I care so much. Like, I'm kind of buying into your online platform. Part of that's playing my games correctly, like Steam and its VAC anti-cheat or whatever.
Well, here's my theory on the Nintendo Online. People will not buy it to play online games unless they play Splatoon or Mario Kart or something like that heavily.
Smash Bros. Yo.
Smash Bros is going to be the big seller. The other thing is this is going to get people classic games for free every month. That's what's going to sell that.
Yeah.
Online is not. That's not why people are going to buy it. They want the virtual console stuff. Well, I say virtual console, but it's not virtual console. But
occasional online play,
classic
games.
Yeah, that's
Maybe Kirby.
Yeah, that's the seller. Smash Brothers and that's the two things.
Is this them reasserting digital rights over ROMs and stuff like that? Then, like, because part of the argument, like, why would I go do that if they're not enforcing their copyright when just downloading the emulator?
Oh, they're
adding features to some of them.
Yeah, they're bringing online multiplayer to some of them that didn't necessarily games that were never multiplayer before. Now all of a sudden will have online multiplayer functionality or two-player functionality.
Some could argue they don't need multiplayer now either.
No,
they're doing
it. The thing about it is, and I didn't include that story about Sony cracking down or Nintendo cracking down on the website that hosts ROMs, is because to me that is not news, because this is something Nintendo does every day. They just happened to go after a very big and very publicized website that had ROMs. But Nintendo, they always super copyright everything. Half the stuff, sometimes when we upload stuff that I play Nintendo-wise on the Switch, I can't upload it to YouTube because they put a strike against it because of copyright issues. Nintendo is very funny about things like that. I mean, they try to keep their foot planted firmly on the throats of sites that have ROM availabilities. This is just one that they've never went after before, and then all of a sudden they just went bam, and they hit them hard. I mean, it went down immediately. They pulled the site down. And there's probably I can think of 2 or 3 more right off the top of my head that'll probably be gone before the end of the year, just because Nintendo's running out of sites to to put their foot on, and they'll catch them. They'll do it eventually.
Those sites before they go away.
I've got all my ROM sets already. I have all the Super Nintendo, the N64, the
I've got most of my stuff.
I've already got.
They'll squish them, and then. Yeah. 10
5
more
days
will pop
later.
up.
It's the Hydra effect. Kill 1, 2 more will take their place. It always happens. I mean, and that's just the way it is.
But 4 of those will be virus sites. 3 of those will be like
Click
money
here.
for stuff that wasn't from like
right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then 1 of those or 2 of those will actually be actual legit sites. But
yeah,
that's the mega upload effect, I guess.
I guess, but yeah, I mean, copyright and ROM, Sony or Microsoft is Nintendo has always been very, very. They don't mess around with them. There's a couple of sites that I don't know how they've been up for as long as they have, because Nintendo knows they're there. They have to now. Everybody else knows, so surely Nintendo knows by now. I mean, But it is what it is. You're always going to be able to find them somewhere, whether it's a torrent site or something like that. You're always going to be able to find it. How many times have they tried to take down Pirate Bay, and it just keeps coming right back? They get the guys.
I'm forgetting that's relevant.
It's still relevant. Yeah, I mean, it's still there. You can still go to it. You can still download movies and stuff like that. And they've took that site down 3 or 4 dozen times, and even arrested the guys that run it. And they were in prison in Switzerland or somewhere.
Thing?
Are they doing the what now?
Because I remember for a while they said something like they were going to buy weather balloons and this micro Pi servers.
Yeah,
send it up like cloud to cloud kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if they did that, but yeah, the clam of cloud. But yeah, I don't know, but that's the thing. There are always going to be places to get that kind of stuff. But hey, did you hear EA is considering making a free-to-play standalone shooter? Did you hear that? That's
Battle Royale game.
Yeah,
it was an off-the-cuff remark on a phone call.
Yeah,
so everyone has to write it up into a big story. Like,
I thought that was hilarious. Well, gee, duh. You think EA might be working on something? You think maybe everybody isn't?
When you're on an investor call and one of your investors asks you about this big trend that makes lots of money for other people, and they say, "Are you considering it?" You're like, "Of course we are."
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're going to hate you and not give you money anymore.
But they own DICE, right?
Yeah, they own DICE.
DICE is an EA studio, yes.
Isn't DICE confirmed to be making one? Or is that
a mode in Battlefield 5 after launch will have a Battle Royale mode added to it, but that is not going to be standalone. It will be a mode in the game.
Right.
What they were specifically asking is they're going to be a free-to-play standalone Battle Royale game so we can make all the monies.
And they said, sure, we're thinking about it.
I want all the monies, so tell me how you're going to give me all the money. That's basically what this was here.
And they went, sure.
There's this big thing that everyone's got the money from. I want it too. Are we going to do it? And so he's like, we're looking into it.
And then everybody's like, EA's making a Battle Royale game.
I mean, who is it at this point? Like, I'm probably making a Battle Royale game, and I just don't even know it yet.
I've made 4, and you guys don't know it yet. Nobody knows it but me.
Battle Royale is just when you stand around in your basement and beat each other up with pool noodles, right? Because I've been doing that since I was a kid.
Pool noodles. Hang on.
The most lethal of weapons.
Beating them up with pool noodles. Hang on.
I didn't do that. I did used to, do destruction derbies with Matchbox cars.
Yeah, I did that.
We did that with
go karts. I was gonna be like, heck yeah.
What are those little they're real long skinny plastic rods like Technics or something, and they like snap real hard into each other?
Yep.
Yeah,
we used to
Connects.
Connects.
Connect.
I used to do that where you build like cars, and they had to have wheels, and you had to be able to push them,
No
and they'd have to roll so far. And if they did, then you would take them and smash them together and see which ones lived the longest.
All right, I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna win this battle right now because when we were kids, we used to go down to. Wasn't really a dump, but people dumped things there, and we would go. It wasn't technically. It wasn't technically
It was an
unofficial dump. Yeah, and we would get the fluorescent light bulbs, the real long ones. Yeah.
Smash 'em.
And we would play lightsabers with those.
That is the best.
For
My
not very
face
long,
hurts
because
in
it
the
doesn't take much.
Nope, it doesn't take much fun. And it shatters in little pieces of glass, and the gas inside them is actually toxic if you breathe it.
And someone just put their eye out.
Yeah.
Yay.
Mm-hmm. See, I had eye protection. Nobody else did.
Oh, no thanks.
I always had my eye protection with me, but yeah, you would see
Your
us
eyes
down
are
there.
bad.
Yeah, yeah, for a reason. Yeah. But you'd see us down there. It was right by the railroad. It was right on the railroad track, so we would just be Star Warsing it up until it just shattered. Then we'd go over to the pile, grab another one, and just start all over again. Yeah, now it's like, I can't believe we did that. That was crazy.
So I was never that bad, but those what were those? There's trees that like they're not poisonous or anything like that, but they grow up real fast and flexible. Like in the matter of a week, it'll grow like 2 feet when it's young. Maybe
We
3
had
feet.
something like that. We called them.
But it's like straight as a beanpole, just
Yeah.
straight up, that real green and flexible.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, after church, there'd be a gang of like 20 of us, and we'd all run outside and try to claim territory by breaking down these essentially weeds. Let's
Yeah.
be honest, doing a community service and beat each other up with them. We would form like little roving bands,
And those things would hurt because they don't break real easy. That's like getting hit with a switch.
and we just go to town on each other.
Oh Lord. Well, anyway, so did anybody know that the Commodore Mini was a thing and it's coming out in North America in October? I had no idea.
I had actually
No
heard
idea.
about it a little bit.
It
I had
looks
heard.
really dumb.
It does look really dumb, and it costs $70.
Because it's a keyboard that's tiny.
It's a tiny little keyboard with a little controller with it.
So how does this fit into the like? This is the same people that are like, we're gonna make this retro futuristic like whatever console, right?
No, this is something totally different. This is just like a mini version of a Commodore 64. I mean, literally, it's like a little exact replica of the keyboard, and it has a little joystick to plug in, and you play like Jumpman and Pit Stop and Winter Games and Mission Impossible and stuff like that, or Impossible Mission.
Is this going to be one of those things that you find in like the CVS that like I want a new game, Suga Junsush?
I don't
like,
know. With it
Because I
being,
feel like there's not a huge market for this.
with it being $70, I don't see it being one of those kind of things. I don't even know what company is making it. It's called Retro Games and Solutions to Go. I've never heard of them before. But it has like 2 USB ports in the side of it, and apparently it's coming out. Originally, it was only going to be in the UK, but now they're going to release it in the United States now. I don't know. It's such a weird thing. It's HDMI, it's high definition output, it's all that, but it's like
But USB ports?
for the controllers.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a keyboard with a joystick and controllers.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
It's a keyboard that's like really tiny.
yeah, it's just like a little. I don't even know if it
Keyboard
really.
France, okay.
Yeah, it's like, and I don't even know how big it is. I'm just assuming it's about the size
They
of a
have
mini.
picture in here where someone's holding it.
Oh, do they?
So
I missed
slightly
that.
bigger than your hand, so it'd be, maybe about that long.
I didn't even see.
So it's a Raspberry
yeah.
Pi with Commodore games. Got it.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see her holding it here now. I didn't cycle through the pictures and see that. Yeah, I have no interest in
with
this.
the picture of it just on its own, you can't really tell how big it is. But yeah, it's slightly bigger than somebody's hand.
Yeah.
You can put your own games on.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you
That's
can.
on there.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who like
You can learn to type in BASIC on it. I mean, that was one of the big selling points back in the day.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people who are like, ooh, Commodore 64. I remember that. But
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's not the same thing as the NES Classic or the SNES.
Yeah.
No.
They're not going to sell near that many. I doubt they expect to anyway. They're just like, yeah, maybe there's enough. We'll put it out there.
There are a lot of Commodore 64 enthusiasts out there that would
Sure.
buy it just to have it. I mean, there are.
I always see plenty at Portland Retro Gaming. Actually.
Yeah.
So I'm sure
I
most people are
don't know.
interested. But yeah, for us, I'm
For
like,
me,
I
it's
feel
like
twice
just-
maybe.
Yeah, it's just a little keyboard with a Commodore 64 logo on
Yeah.
it. It's not the
People
same
are
as
gonna-
like, oh look, it's a little NES or a little SNES
Right.
or a little Atari that looks like the box. It's just like there's plenty of keyboards out there. Ooh.
Yeah.
People are not gonna like this, but I don't
It's
really
old looking,
know.
yay.
I mean, I don't know if there's any really games that really stand out. I think there's a couple that were relatively decent, but a lot of it, I just think.
Yeah,
But relatively decent
but
for the time.
Well, for 1982, I mean, yeah, that's the other
yeah,
thing. I mean, this was
I think for
1982.
this-
You know, it's,
the good thing about this is that if you're interested in buying one, you probably won't have too much difficulty getting it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and
they
if you
won't
wait a
be.
few months.
Oh, you'll probably get them for $20 at Dollar General. So yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'll play with it twice and be like, I'm done.
Yeah. Starting in October will be the Fallout 76 beta. It will be on the Xbox first, and then PS4 and PC. I'm guessing a few days later. They didn't say how long. I do know it's on Xbox first. So if you have made a pre-order for it, you should have already got your code to pre-redeem. So when the beta starts, they will just send you a code to download the
It's
game.
like a
so.
month, or depending on when it starts, a little over a month early.
Yeah, a month early.
Launch the game.
So that'll be cool. I'm excited to get my hands on it a little early because I got my code. Well, I pre-ordered it after they put them up on Amazon, immediately. So
I don't think I'm going to be playing this game, or at least I'm not playing it at launch because Red Dead exists.
yeah.
Yeah.
that's going to be the thing. Is Red Dead's coming out, so it's like, well, but I don't know. I'm going to try to play both. We'll see
And
how
other
it goes.
things exist as well too. That I was counting between now and the end of the year. There's about 10 games coming out that I really, really, really want, and there'd be a few more that I could probably add on to that. But like, ooh, that'd be cool to play. So Fallout 76 is not on that list.
Well, that's the thing. The only thing that I've got left is Pokemon, and that's for me and the wife. Fallout 76, Red Dead. Then next month is Yakuza, and
For me, it all kicks off with Spider-Man in September.
Spider-Man.
see, I've
I
got.
just keep rolling out, and then Battlefield and Red Dead, all these things
Yeah,
just
see-
keep coming in the fall.
See, I've only got maybe 3 in the fall that I'm.
There's sometimes you have a fall where it's like, yeah, there's a lot coming out, but the ones you're interested in, there's only a couple. Not for me this year. There's a ton.
There's a lot that I'm interested in, but there's some. It's like well, like I said, Assassin's Creed. I probably won't get at launch, even though it looks really, really, really cool. I'll probably wait. Trying to think of what else there was. I don't know. I'd have to look on my list, but I had more. I had like 4 games come out this month, so it's like, yeah, here's all mine all at one time. It's coming out apparently this. in the
Yeah,
middle
there's
of
one that
summer.
I'm keeping an eye on, Underworld Ascendant, that comes out in September. That's the one that most everybody else here wouldn't care about, but it's kind of like a spiritual successor to Ultima Underworld,
Yeah.
like series of games, and a lot of them are some of the people behind it worked on this game. I think it might have even been kickstarted. So if that turns out to be, an actual good game, then I might pick up that one too. There's like just a ton of things coming out
Yeah.
that I want to play.
There always is.
And then of course Smash Brothers in December, man.
Yeah, see, and I'm not a Smash Brothers fan, so it doesn't interest me one
mean,
bit.
I played so much Melee, and then I played a little bit of Brawl, and then I haven't played Smash since. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, ooh, that's something I want to get for my Switch, even if I don't play a ton of it.
All right.
It's something that, like, hey, all of the people that have ever been in Smash are in it. That got me in. I'll
Yeah.
play it.
Absolutely. Last but not least, and I saved this for last because I'm interested in getting everybody's opinion on it. New alleged details come out about Microsoft's next-gen Xbox, Xbox Scarlet or whatever they're calling it.
Codename. Yeah.
I've heard two different things. One thing is there's going to be a cheap streaming model. There's going to be a basic model like the Xbox One X is now, and then there's going to be a high-end model. Then the other ones I've heard, there's only going to be just the high-end model and a streaming model. So, take your...
Didn't you just say the same thing?
No. There's only going to be two. This one I says...
All I've ever heard is there's going to be 2 boxes, but I thought that's what...
No. I heard... First, I heard there was going to be 3. There's going to be a cheap streaming box, one in the middle, and then a high-end. And then I heard there's just going to be 2. There's going to be a streaming box and then a high-end model. So, I don't know.
All I've heard is 2. I never heard the 3.
Yeah, I heard...
So it's kind of like, here's this cheaper one that we can sell to people who are casually interested and get them in our ecosystem, and here you can stream all your games to it. And we'll sell those at a nice premium price that just like you can be like, oh, hey, yeah, I'll get that. And then there's going to be kind of like the regular one that you would expect that like has all the stuff in it in the box. And so more people like us would be getting that kind of console.
Yeah, that's
what I've heard.
Let's see, and I've heard, like I said, I heard the 3. I heard there's the affordable, cheap streaming box. There's something like the Xbox One X, the powerful as the Xbox One X is now. Or bigger or more powerful, and then there's a Cadillac model is what I've heard. But
Cadillac.
I don't know.
They're not gonna split it that much to start with. That would be really, really dumb.
Yeah,
having a cheap gimmick box and then the regular box, you can probably sell that. But having 3 things will just confuse everybody so much.
Yeah,
and split your potential customers every which way, and they're not going to do that.
I guess a lot of it's going to depend on, they're making a lot of revenue not only off of Xbox or Xbox Live, but they're making a lot of money off the Game Pass as well. And I'm wondering if they're kind of seeing that, they're testing the waters to see if maybe, these streaming boxes, maybe not so much people will buy games per se, but they would subscribe to the Game Pass that will allow you to stream certain games.
I think they should combine Game Pass with Live, or at least an option for that.
I think they should too.
Get just the one thing they have to get, and then if you get this little streaming box, you get that subscription. Microsoft's going to like that a whole lot better because you're going to keep paying them money over time instead of just the few games you get a year.
Yeah. Well, and that's like with me, I don't buy a lot of Xbox games. So I have Xbox Live Gold. I always have. I've paid for it for 16 years now. And then I also have, the Game Pass, which is nice because when the new games come out, the new Microsoft games come out, I don't have to go out and buy the new Microsoft game. Like, State of Decay interested me. I got it on Game Pass, played it for a couple hours and went, yeah, I like the first State of Decay better, or not. I don't like the second one, so it's out. But I'm not out $60. I'm out $10 for the month with 400 other games that I can play and like. And I like that. If Microsoft would have come out with a streaming box to begin with, I probably would have bought that instead of buying an Xbox One with a subscription. Because I never play my Xbox One. There's just every once in a while one game comes out and I go, yes, I must play it. And it's usually Forza or Halo or Gears of War or something like that. And then when I'm done playing it, it sets back in the counter or under the TV and becomes a Blu-ray player. That's essentially what my Xbox One has become. I play Forza maybe once or twice a month, and that's about it, especially when they haven't had any new first-party games that have really moved me. Sea of Thieves is really cool, but, if you don't...
We're not going to have that till at least whatever the next console is going to be, because it takes time for them to put that stuff out, and I think they've decided we're making enough money right now with Game Pass and our services and all that, building a foundation for whatever comes next with that. Plus, we'll invest in putting all of our games there instead of trying to put them on Xbox One, where we're already like so far behind. But only when you look at Sony, they're like, that's where they look bad. If you look just at them, how much money they're making, the Xbox has done pretty good this generation. So I think for in general, it makes more sense for them to do that
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, we've got all this stuff coming. We're going to put it on the Xbox." It's kind of, I've seen a lot of people comparing it a little bit to kind of like Wii U to the Switch.
Yeah.
Where at a certain point in Wii U, they're like, "No, we're just going to invest in the next thing, which was
Right.
the Switch,
Yeah.
because that makes more sense for the long term."
Right.
So I'm assuming that's what's going to happen here is whatever the next Xbox is, whether it's one box or two, whether it's streaming or something different, they're putting all their eggs towards that basket, investing in the future.
Yeah. So, what would you think the magic number for cost would be on a streaming box for people to get on board with it? 100, 150?
Ooh.
Can they charge
I-
more than that for it?
What?
And would people
It
buy
has
it?
I
to
would think
be-
150 would be good.
Less than 200 at the very highest, but yeah, if you really want people to buy it, like, ooh, that's cool, I'll just
But
like
how are you
impulse
gonna
buy it. You want
But
to
how
have
are you
it
going to solve the
well as
people that
possible.
have crappy internet? Excuse my language.
Well,
they
and
won't
then
get
those people wouldn't buy it anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't reckon.
That's why they would be potentially offering 2 boxes.
But-
So you get one that's like now, so you can buy your games and put it on it locally because you have terrible internet or just okay internet where the streaming one won't work for you.
Yeah.
But if you're in a place that has great internet and you only want, a few games from Microsoft, you don't care about how well it looks and streaming is fine and you want to do it that way, that's an option too. That's what this sort of rumor seems to be
Yeah.
saying to me anyway. They're giving options for a bunch of different types of people.
Well, and then the other thing that wonders me, if you keep it sub $200, how much is the regular version going to cost? 500, 499, 3. Will it cost
I don't think that they're
$399?
gonna do it all. It doesn't matter.
And see,
It'll
maybe
be
for
whatever
someone
it
like
is.
me, who's not super interested in the console, interested in the library, maybe I go with the cheapest version just to have it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, essentially that's what I've done. I have.
'Cause you got the fat Xbox One, right?
No, I bought the S. I had the fat one. Well, it was funny. I bought the fat one off of Craigslist or something like that, and then the S came out, and they did a really good trade-in value at GameStop for the S, so I took it and paid like $40 for the S version. It only took, it wasn't that much, but
Yeah, that's not bad.
no, I think I was way
that's-
under what the
that works for
asking
you.
price for the S was. But the thing about it is I got all the first-party games, played them, and they were, Quantum Break and Tomb Raider at the time and Halo 5 and stuff like that. But since then, I don't think I've bought. Last year, I didn't buy a single game for it. This year, I've bought one, and it was a clearance game at Toys R Us when they were closing. It was Forza, and the only reason I bought it was because it was a $60 game for $17. And other than that, and I love Forza, and I was eventually going to buy it anyway, but I was still fine with playing last year's Forza, or 2 years ago's Forza, so I wasn't real worried about it.
Yeah, it's like my buddy bought one for his kids. He bought one that had the 500 gigabyte S model on sale like last year for around I think Black Friday. He bought like 2 games for it and plays it occasionally, but other than that,
Yeah,
really
now if it had worked out that if the Xbox from a couple of years into the life was the Xbox at launch, I would have bought it over the PlayStation 4. But the only reason I bought a PlayStation 4 was because it was cheaper at the time. I wasn't interested in paying $500.
And that, I think, is what this rumored streaming box would be aiming for, is you can make a box as cheap as possible that will still, look decent for when you're streaming the games to it, but it's going to be as cheap as possible, looking on the shelf saying, oh, that's cheap.
Yeah.
I might as well pick one up.
Yeah.
And it's going to be also like, okay, we're going to put it out. We are either going to sell it at cost or make a profit on it because it's so cheap to put together, theoretically. And then it's less money that we're putting down the drain every hardware that we put out.
I can't imagine the streaming console costing a lot to make.
That's the point of it. Is
yeah.
It's got to be cheap.
The back end is where your money. Microsoft's going to have their money into it. Is getting it to work properly. And it's like I've said, this week when I read that story, I had the online box on Live. I used that service for a little while, streaming games, and it was fine. And that was 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago.
Relatively fine.
Yeah, I mean,
We're
it was.
Say you had the higher end experience with.
Yeah, I mean,
A lot of people did not have the same.
and I never had any issues with it. It's like streaming PlayStation 3 games on the PlayStation 4. I've never had any issues with it either. It's always worked real well, like it should.
Yeah, but that's a completely different
Right, but well, yeah, it's a different thing. But I mean, still, essentially, it's streaming a game over the internet, which is
It's
the
still
rumor
something
is.
that has not completely had all the hurdles jumped over to
Right.
work 100%. It's not like a Netflix or any streaming video where if it has a little bit of a hitch in it, you're just waiting for the video to start again
Right.
and rebuffer. Whereas
Yeah.
this, it's all because video games are interactive. If you have any sort of weird hiccup in there, it's gonna really make you not want to play that.
Yeah.
Like,
And
this is terrible, and give up.
And that's going to be the interesting thing. We're talking 2020 when it comes out, at the earliest. So, or that's the assumption anyway.
Yeah.
So, who knows what it'll be in 2 years from now. Who
I
knows
mean,
what internet will
Microsoft
be
has
2 years
the
from now.
money and the kind of background to possibly make this work if anybody does. So I wouldn't surprise me if they tried doing it. For sure.
And both companies have bought the technology to do it. Sony bought the technology to do it, and Microsoft.
I also
bought the
wouldn't be
technology to do it.
surprised if this rumor is nothing by the time consoles come out. It's something completely different than this.
Yeah,
If
I mean,
that's
who
the case,
knows?
Then I wouldn't also not be surprised that this is just something they're testing and it's leaked out a little bit now as a rumor that may or may not become a product in the future.
Yeah,
Well,
It just depends.
we talked about how Crackdown was supposed to do all this too, right? Like Crackdown was supposed to offload all of its processing to the Magic Azure cloud, and all that. It was supposed to release like 2 years ago, and it might release this year or next year.
No, it's
I
next
still don't-
year.
yeah, it's
not
next
next
year. It's not this year.
So, like, they keep
that's
saying the
also-
only way we can do it is pushing it into the cloud. Well, they keep pushing it back further and further, but then I look at games like Red Faction Guerrilla, and it's like, you already were almost there, and that was 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
But that's also completely different if you look at it. Red Faction Guerrilla has super destruction in tiny isolated areas.
No, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm
the only
saying.
place you
Like,
could do it in.
yeah.
That stuff, physics is expensive processing wise.
Oh, yeah,
so
no, absolutely.
even now, years later, that'd still be difficult to pull off.
Yeah.
And that's why they were saying, hey, we'll do that all in the cloud because it allows us to do all
But-
that. But that was also somebody saying that before I think that game had really even become much of anything.
Right.
Like say, hey, look at this, we're going to do all this cool stuff. Look, explosions, neat. And then that's why it's been delayed.
Well, and that's the thing I
Because
remember.
no one made it work.
Well, I remember that at the E3 where they announced the Xbox One. Everything was cloud. We don't have to worry about this because this processing will be done on the cloud, and this will be done on the cloud, and I don't think any of that ever materialized that I ever knew of. Anyway, I mean, maybe it did, but I doubt it. I think that was a lot of hype that wasn't in.
Well, it was some hype, and then it was all they had to pivot, and the online thing completely changed from what they were planning
Yeah.
for the Xbox. But I think even if they had gone forward with the same plan that they originally announced, and we had that box, and it has evolved for however many years since then, it still would not be the same as what they were hyping
No,
for.
no. But yeah, it was very interesting last week, just listening to the different, stories coming out of all these rumors. Like I said, I heard different things about different stuff with the Xbox, and this is something we're going to hear for the next 2 years until Microsoft comes out and says this is what it's going to be, and this one. It'll be interesting though to see, already hearing early rumors 2 years from, 2 years out from the system. It'll be interesting to see exactly what comes out when it eventually
I know
does.
it's going to be an Xbox the size of the original Xbox and that heavy, but also it has a dock and you can take it out in hand mode
Ah.
if you can lift it.
If you can lift it. Yeah. Tell you
Yep,
what,
totally
I'm-
feasible.
I enjoy the dock and dockless gaming experience that the Switch gives me. I could
Who wouldn't want a 20-pound handheld?
sure. I had a Game Gear with 6 AAA batteries in it.
That's about
That was
20 pounds
that was
right
almost
there.
20 pounds. And then I had a Sega Nomad that played Genesis games with a battery pack that had 8 AA batteries in the back of it. Now that thing was 20 pounds, and it only lasted for an hour.
You should jerry rig your own power for that use D batteries.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could. I've seen
heavier.
some guides online
Yeah.
picking apart laptop batteries using those.
I have too. I've seen a lot of people modding that stuff. So, but anything else? Anybody got anything else before we call it a show? Anything that I
Everybody
missed?
see John's cool T-shirt.
Oh yeah, see, I'm
Gamers
wearing my T-shirt tonight.
We got the store up. We're selling some shirts.
Highly recommend
some
washing them the
mugs.
minute you get it in, because man, that permapress and these things smelled terrible. It was open up that bag and went, ooh boy, that burns my eyes. I immediately just took it right downstairs and threw it in the washer. It was
All them chemicals sealed in a bag.
yeah, really.
Any color bleed?
No, my wife got the purple one. I got the green one. There's all kinds of different colors in there, and I even upgraded the T-shirts so you could go with a little more premium T-shirt if you wanted to, which costs a little extra. Let's see. There's coffee mugs up there. There are stickers up there, vinyl stickers. I need to order one of those. I don't know exactly what they look like.
From the picture, it's just like a rendering, so I was like not sure what that.
Yeah,
would actually
I'm
look
not
like
either.
in real
So.
life. And it's just the logo on black, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'd rather have something different. If I'm gonna get a sticker, I'll wait on that.
Yeah, I'll get one and see what they're like and report back. Because I want to order a.
Put it in like my car window or something, then I'd want it to be like the parent or something. So
Yeah, and they didn't give me the option for transparent.
Yeah,
so
for
it's
something like Teespring, you're not gonna get that.
No. But we have the Gamers Lounge. This is just the Gamers Lounge. It doesn't have the podcast on it.
Yeah, I have the one with the podcast.
Yeah,
on it.
we have versions with the podcast. We have Back to Bits. You can get them in just about any color that you want. So I need to order a Back to Bits one.
You can even get colors that clash.
Oh yeah, I put all the colors up. Now I did change some because when I actually added the new T-shirts, I had to take some colors away to get colors on the newer T-shirts. So the premium T-shirts actually have some different colors that you can't get in the cheaper T-shirts. Cool. So, but yeah, there for a while I went with the craziest, like bright yellow with the logo on it, or bright orange with the logo. Just be like, let's see what it looks like. What the crap? Why not? But I think I don't have the address written. Hang on, I didn't put it in the show notes yet. I think it's teespring.com/the-gamers-lounge-store. I think's what it is. It's worse than the website. Yep, that's it. It's teespring.com/stores/the-gamers-lounge-store.
Is there somebody else who's already just the Gamers Lounge with hyphens in it? Is that why we?
I don't know. All the Teespring stuff hyphened out. It's weird.
Yeah.
So I will eventually get a tiny URL to put in the show notes. So you just have to go tiny. All I have to say is tiny URL whatever. So.
But you said you could just go to the site. The link's at the top. Right?
Yep. There's a awesome little banner that Nathaniel made. It's right at the top of the website. You can't miss it. There's even if you're watching this on Twitch, it's right. There's one over here, right there. I think it's right over there. Just,
you don't have to point exactly. It's below the feed.
Oh, but it's more fun to go. It's here.
Yeah, pixel perfect pointing.
Yeah.
Wait, no, it's this way. No, gravity's the wrong way.
My screen is backwards, so I have to go like this. Yeah, but they're cool shirts. They're a very nice, heavy shirt. I like that. But yes, it's really cool. So I'm going to try to go to. There's a convention in Columbus, the end of September. I think I sent you the link to it, Eric, because I didn't know when you were going to the UK. And
yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make that.
Yeah, and it's like GX. I forget what it's called now, but yeah, I'm going to try to go to that. So I'll wear my T-shirt while I'm there, so everybody knows who I am and where I'm at. But yeah, anything you guys get from that store helps out with site costs, hosting for the podcast and stuff like that. So it all goes right back into hosting fees. So that helps us out a lot. But other than that, I don't think there's anything else. I'm going to be out of town this week, so I won't be doing any streaming. Matt, are you going to try to stream one night this week?
I should be okay Monday. I have my camera. I have my stuff set up on my phone. I can't. I don't have any.
Yeah, there you go.
Events on my calendar. Okay. I should be good.
That's cool. Yeah, I would, but like I said, I'm out of town all next week, so good old Columbus and Indianapolis, yeehaw. So, real excited about that, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, we can tell.
Oh yeah, I haven't been in Indianapolis and going on 20. Well, no, I was there a couple of years ago, but actually stay in Indianapolis. I haven't been there in like 20 years to actually visit, so should be interesting. I'll be there before tornado season, which is good. It's very important.
Yeah, but there's not that many tornadoes.
Not in Indianapolis. They're all south of it. It's very flat out there, and it makes me very nervous when I'm out there. How flat it
Go
is.
move to like Kansas or something.
No,
then
it's
talk to
too
me about
it's
tornadoes.
too flat. It's too flat. I can't do it. I come all when you come out off this hill over here and you go into a high, and all of a sudden it just goes. It's like totally flat. It's like nope, I couldn't do this.
There's a reason they call the terrain differences depressions.
Yeah, I gotta have some mountains. It just makes me feel better. It makes me feel a whole lot better. So, all right, let me stop the recording there while I'm thinking about it.
Sneaking that pun right at the end of the recording.
I like to have a pun at the end of the recording if I can.
It's funny.
It is fun.
Yeah.
John needs
How's
the mountain
how's the
high.
t-shirt stuff going? Did we sell any more?
How's
Besides
what?
just us.
No,
How's the t-shirt?
no, not yet. The banner has helped with clicks. Once I got the banner up, it really people started paying attention
Well, yeah,
to
it's
it.
like
So.
this cool graphical thing in your
Yeah.
face, so you're like, oh hey, that link at the top. That
Yeah.
gets
It
all
was
the other ones.
it was very cool. I really like it. I just sometimes I forget about it, and I'll go to the website and be like, "Oh wow, look at that! That's so cool! Look."
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we have a store. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm definitely getting a mug. Gotta wait till the paycheck, but I'm definitely getting a mug, and I'll have the mug at work.
Yeah,
The shirt's pretty nice.
yeah, it is. The shirt's really nice. I'm very impressed with the print
I should
job
get
on
more
it.
than
Yeah, I've got the one that John
and I
has,
should wear
except
them.
it's the podcast version of the logo, so it says podcast.
Good
idea.
On mine.
I got this one because everybody else got the podcast one, so I got this one just to be different. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of the Back to Bits ones. I'm going to get the premium one. I'm going to pay a little more and get the nicer one just to
Well, it's
see.
like $2
Yeah, it's
difference.
$2 difference.
Like,
I made it.
alright.
They wanted me to make it like $25 difference. I'm like, I'll just do it a couple times. Just to make it cheap because why do that? It seems $25 seems crazy. So, all right. Well, that's it for the stream. I'm going to bed because I'm getting sleepy. I don't know about anybody else. It's
Let's
been a
see. It's
I'm
7:45.
fine, sleepyheads.
Play some Prey, bro.
I'll play something on the Switch, laying in bed before I go to sleep, like I always do. So.
Do you fall asleep and then the Switch just bashes you in the face?
No, but that used to happen when I watched Netflix in bed on the iPad, and I'd have it sitting here, and I'd be watching. All of a sudden, I kind of doze off, and I'd wake up because I have my
It'd be like right here.
yeah, because it'd be like right here, and I had a OtterBox on it. The older OtterBoxes were really heavy, and it would just hit me right at the crown of the nose, and nothing worse than being half asleep, and all of a sudden something go pop, and just pop you right in the nose, and be like, oh my gosh, oh yeah, I was asleep, sorry. But, all right. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for hanging out in the stream. We appreciate it. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, next week will be another episode of the retro, but we'll see. Depending on when I get back from my trip. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you all next time.
See you later.